Yo, what's going on, guys? Hooday all day, back with another video. So today we're going to be doing my updated mock draft. I posted a mock draft video yesterday, which was all non-playoff teams. Now we're going to be doing the second part of that mock draft, which is all playoff teams. Please remember to like and subscribe, and let's get right into the video. So starting off with the 19th overall pick, the Washington football team. I have them grabbing Trey Lance here out of North Dakota State. They have a pretty good team, actually. Even with the spotty quarterback play, and when Alex Smith has been in there, they've been able to rattle off some wins, but they have a good defense. They have a great young core in that team. You draft Lance, let him sit back and develop for a year, because I do think he's going to need to develop for a year with his limited play and the school he did go to and the defenses he was facing. Draft him, let him sit behind Alex Smith for a year and have him take over that offense. With that amazing defense, put some more pieces around him on the offensive side of the football, Washington will be a very good football team. So next pick here with the Bears. This could definitely be a quarterback spot, but I do have them going Christian Dursaw here out of Virginia Tech. Their offensive line has been a problem for them all year. It's played a little bit better with Dave Montgomery starting to get some running room, and he's been really starting to come on. But you need to go offensive line here. If you do stick with Mitch, which I do see them doing, I think he's earned himself another year after his quarterback play lately. You're gonna want to protect him. Go get Dursaw. Go protect your quarterback, and that'll be a pretty good pick for them. Next, with the Jaguars, I have them grabbing Samuel Cosmi. Just like I said, protect your quarterback. You know you're already getting Trevor Lawrence, like I had in my mock draft earlier. You're going to have Cam Robinson, who's probably gone at left tackle. Bring in Cosmi. You have Juwan Taylor there from Florida, who you drafted as a good right tackle spot. Put Cosmi at left tackle, protect your quarterback. Next for the Colts, I have them grabbing Rashawn Bateman. They need a receiver. We know that defense is very, very good. And this is another quarterback spot with Phillip Rivers is extremely old. But we know their defense is good. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they got Michael Pittman in last year's draft. They really don't have a tight end. They really only have Pittman. T.Y. Hilton's a free agent. Zach Pascal's all right. They have Campbell from Ohio State, who's all right. But I think they need to add another receiver because, say he's gone, Pittman can't really be a number one. Paris Campbell can't really be a number one. I don't see Zach Pascal. It's just you need to add another receiver to that offense. You have a great run game. You have a great offensive line. Add a receiver. Next pick here for the Titans, I have them grabbing Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. They tried Vic Beasley. They tried bringing in Clowney in the free agency, and they just cannot find an edge presence anywhere. Edge has been a big problem for them all year. And like I said, they tried to bring in those two players. It didn't work out. They just couldn't get it going. I think they draft one here in Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia. Very, very good player. Underrated in my opinion. Some people have him going in the second round, even like mid to late second round. I think Ojulari is a great player. I even watched I haven't watched too much Georgia film. I'm just watching purely him. But when I actually sat down and watched Georgia's full game against Cincinnati, he was a player who did stick out to me, getting forced fumbles. Key forced fumbles in that game, actually. But I like Ojulari a lot going to them, and it'll fix their edge problem. Next for the Browns, I have them drafting Xavier Collins out of Tulsa. Very good linebacker. He used to actually play safety, and he's big too. He's actually 260, and he can still move around the field. That's been one of their weak spots this year, has been linebacker. I like Xavier Collins a lot. He can fly around the field. He can make hits. He can get interceptions. Like I said, he used to play safety, put on some weight, and move to linebacker. I like Xavier Collins a lot. He's a pretty good player for the Browns. Next, I have the Buccaneers, Joseph Osai, who is a edge rusher, but he can play that 3-4 outside linebacker and come off the edge. And they have Jason Pierre-Paul there right now, and he's only getting older. I think he's 32. Yeah, he's 32, so you got to replace him eventually. I think Joseph Osai, who prefers to play in that 3, he's a better 3-4 scheme fit anyway to come off as that outside linebacker, and that's the scheme the Buccaneers run. So you can replace Pierre-Paul with Joseph Osai out of Texas, and that'll be a very good combination for that defense. Next, Ravens, Terrence Marshall. They need another receiver on that team. They know they drafted Marquise Brown, who's played okay at times, a little bit inconsistent. Some of that is because of Lamar, because Lamar does not throw for a lot of passing yards a game. And that's not going to change. It doesn't matter what receiving core you give him. That offense is more of that RPO. They run give the ball to tight end a lot, run screens, get people in space, but it's not drop back, read the backer, throw the ball. It's a lot of pistol formations and that kind of stuff. So it doesn't matter what receiving core he has. He's not throwing for consistent 300-yard games. But saying that they do need more weapons, they really they use so many tight ends, it's not even funny. And like I said, Marquise Brown really hasn't turned out to the guy they wanted him to be. Grab Terrence Marshall out of LSU, who was playing very good even when Joe Burrow left and he had to come into that number one receiver role. He was still playing good before he did opt out midway through the season. So Terrence Marshall will be a good pick for them. Next, Jets. I think you grab Chris Olave here. I don't have him as my best available receiver right now. It'd be Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that's how you pronounce his name, out of USC. But because I do have them drafting Justin Fields, I think you continue and reunite them from college with Justin Fields and Chris Olave. They already have 2 years under the belt of connection. Now you're going into the third year, and even though it's considered the rookie connection, these guys have been throwing it to each other. He's been throwing to Olave now for 3 full years. They have that connection. He knows how he likes routes. He knows how he likes the ball, and I think that'll be a very good connection for them. Next, Steelers getting Rashawn Slater. They need an offensive lineman. They have their left tackle Villanueva, who's getting up there and just all over the place. Isn't that great offensive line I feel like they had in and out. It's not a bad offensive line. The running game's really been starting to struggle throughout the second half of the season. When James Conner got injured, and even when he came back, they were still struggling. Their defense is amazing, and we know they drafted a receiver last year in Claypool who's been amazing. Juju is a free agent, so if he leaves, you might want to get a receiver at this spot. But say you bring back Juju, it's Juju, Deontay Johnson, and Claypool. That's a pretty good receiving core now. If Big Ben stays in there, he's getting up there. You don't want him taking hits. Draft a offensive lineman. Next, Saints, Nick Bolton. He's a middle linebacker, and both of their current starting and backup middle linebackers are free agents. And if you don't know the cap situation with the Saints, they have absolutely no money to spend anywhere. They're projected to have negative $90 million. It's horrible. They have no money whatsoever. They can't afford to pay anyone, and Nick Bolton's a great player. He's just hard-hitting, will just knock you out if you come over the middle. If I was a slot receiver, I would not want to be playing Nick Bolton because you're going to get laid out. So I have him going to the Saints, and he'll be a good fit for them. Next, Buffalo, Asante Samuel Jr., cornerback. That's one of their biggest things. I know they have Tre'Davious White. They have Porter back there, but they have Josh Norman playing right now. Josh Norman is 33, and he's on a contract year. They're not going to bring him back. And their defense has always been good, and it's crazy how their defense is always so consistent. Now their offense is starting to get into a rhythm, but Josh Allen's starting to play better, and I feel like their defense has been the worst in the last 3 years. So I don't know why it's like that, but their defense is still solid. But add Asante Samuel Jr. to replace Josh Norman, and your cornerbacks would be pretty good. Next, Packers. Finally, someone, which is going to be me, is giving the Packers another receiver to play alongside Devontae Adams. I'm giving him Amon-Ra St. Brown out of USC. They never draft a receiver. They never give Aaron Rodgers help, and then they drafted freaking Jordan Love last year, which was mind-boggling to me because even though Rodgers is getting older, he's still playing at an MVP level. Draft a quarterback in 2022's NFL draft and have him develop for a year. Then let Aaron Rodgers go. But he's still playing at such a high level. Jordan Love is going to sit there for 4 years. And there's nothing wrong with that, letting a quarterback develop like that. But to waste a first round, not waste, but to use a first round pick on a guy who's going to have to develop or a guy who's going to sit on your roster for 3 full years with that first round pick, I didn't think it was worth that pick. So give my boy some help in Aaron Rodgers. Give Devontae Adams someone else to help him out so he doesn't have to have all the receiver load, and grab Amon-Ra St. Brown out of USC. Next, with the last pick in this draft, Chiefs. I have them grabbing Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State. They do need line help. Their tackles are amazing in Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. So their tackles are fine. The interior of their offensive line is where it's been a little bit inconsistent. They have had injuries and stuff, but you just drafted a running back last draft, and you just paid your quarterback $500 million. So, like I said, your tackles are fine. They could use a receiver because after Tyreek Hill, they don't really have that much depth because Sammy Watkins he's constantly in retirement. He hasn't been consistent, but Tyreek Hill and Kelsey are enough for that core. So grab another offensive lineman, protect Mahomes, help out Elaire in the run game, and that'll help them out a lot. So that is my picks 19 for 32. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll be back next time. Go Bengals, go Buckeyes. Peace.